The program you are about to see is produced by NUTV at the University of Calgary. The content of the program is the sole responsibility of the producer, and in no way represents the view of Shaw Kindle System.
I have the right to assemble.
A woman's image or a woman's story or a woman's perception of the world.
Because in mainstream film and video, you're not going to get that.
If you're interested in independent film, if you're interested in Canadian film, queer film.
You do need to have as many voices as possible.
Hello and welcome to NUTV. I'm Rebecca. On tonight's program, NUTV will be showing you a series of stories about media and culture. These stories advocate inclusive humanism and encourage a rigorous inquiry that challenges the status quo. Topics we normally do not see in mainstream media. From the protests of Seattle and Quebec City to Calgary's Gay Pride Parade, NUTV is proud to bring you stories that challenge traditional conventions. Our first story is brought to you by Heather, featuring the HERLAND Film and Video Festival, a festival dedicated to feminist expression.
HERLAND is Calgary's longest-running film and video festival. In its 11th season, the festival provides female filmmakers with a voice not available within the mainstream media.
The festival started in 1989, and basically it started after initiative from the NFB. So the National Film Board came across Canada and screened different pieces that they had been working on across the country.
We have it's a very broad mandate, but to promote work by women and to make a space that is available for all women.
Why is this important, do you think?
Because in mainstream film and video, you're not going to get that. You're going to get the stereotypical kind of viewings of women, and you're going to get, if you see a woman with a disability up on the screen, the film is going to be about her disability.
My viewpoint on a feminist film is that I can see the key players in the film or the video are women, and so I trust then that there's a good representation of a woman's image or a woman's story or a woman's perception of the world, and that it isn't anti-feminist or it's not homophobic and it's not racist.
Stichina, my great-grandmother, walked to Canada starving, and I want to know why!
As Aboriginal women, we're the teachers and storytellers of our communities, and we birth our nations and raise our children, and so in a way storytelling is our responsibility as women, but as artists I feel that artists should have the freedom of speech and be able to say what they want to say rather than it being a responsibility.
It comes more organically for me as a woman and as a woman of color. It's not really a purposeful thing. It's just who I am. It's the kind of story that it's a reflection of my life experience. It's what's going on for me. If I were to walk up to like a Caucasian guy and say, you know, are you sitting down to write the great white story? I don't think storytelling actually boils down to niching oneself. I think you are who you are, you carry those imprints within you, and you reflect that in your work.
In collaboration with M Media, HERLAND hosted an in-camera video production workshop, through which local women were able to create their own projects.
Part of the prerequisite was that they had little to no experience in video making itself, so they could come to the workshop and explore that medium so they could hopefully therefore take it into their life and perhaps, as we were looking for, become a new or an emerging artist, and that's what we were hoping for. They do bring a personal touch in terms of bringing information up from perhaps their heart or issues that have related to them, maybe from their culture, from their neighborhood, from their family, from parenting, from relationships.
Why do you think film festivals like HERLAND are important?
The reason HERLAND is important is for a venue to actually just program uniquely women's work. I believe it's not only difficult, but is important, because if you can't see the work here, the chances of it being seen in mainstream media is very is very slim. I mean, mainstream media has a lot of problems with political material, sometimes with gender material, sexuality, and so venues like HERLAND and also the St. John's Women's Festival, which are the only 2 women's festivals in the country, at least create, I guess, a more fair playing field so that other